All right, so we had a customer. We machined the whole motor and we did a valve job, surfaced the heads, and put the correct valve springs on. This is like a 6.2 all aluminum LS3. So customer takes it home, puts it all together, and whatever. He gets ready to crank it, and I'm getting I don't remember, we talked on the phone, or I know we got a bunch of uh, emails back and forth about it. But anyway, so he says on the phone that the valve job is not any good, and the intake valve's leaking and it's blowing air in the intake. And then so I'm like, man, we check this stuff. And I mean, we probably do, 20 million valve jobs since 96. I ain't saying we can't make a mistake 100%, but just a basic, not even a 30 valve job, just a stone, touch it up, grind the face of the valve, nothing special. Man, it would be really, you'd have to really do something to mess that up. So I said, pull them off, whatever you need to do. We'll take care of it. Just send me the bill for the labor. We'll get them back, figure out what's wrong. And, cause I was sure that, they had done all the proper tests and my valve job was no good. I felt confident. So I was like, just whatever you need to do, get them back down here. We'll fix them straight away, and bill me for the labor. We'll pay the labor to swap them, to take them off, put them back on. So we got the heads picked up, and they were in my truck. So, and I'm going to show you the whole video. So we start the video. I take them out of the truck. We walk in the shop, and then we inspect everything 100%. And then when we're done, we'll have another conversation about, and I talk about exactly everything I'm doing and what I see and what the deal is. But when that finishes, then we'll have another conversation. Stay tuned. So we're gonna go ahead and take this thing apart and inspect it and see if we can find what the problem is. So the customer said cylinder 3, and you can see how black it is. Yeah, you can see how black it is around the exhaust port, and the rest are super clean. And the customer says, yeah, you can, the exhaust port's a little darker, but it's not crazy darker. But so the customer says, so the customer states, after engine install, loud clicking noise, bank 1 sounded like exhaust leak, replaced exhaust manifold gasket twice, noise still there, removed exhaust manifold gasket again to inspect exhaust ports, seen exhaust port, cylinder 3, black in color, perform leakage test with leakage excessive air coming from exhaust while pressurized cylinder number 3 leakage test. Remove cylinder heads and install new cylinder heads due to valve seat cylinder 3 not sealing. So that is the issue. So Andrew did the valve job and assembled. So he's done got a tongue lashing, but we fixing to see what's actually wrong. So we'll just put a little bit of This is mineral spirits. Mineral spirits. And it'll just give us a visual. So you can see the port slam full. There's zero leakage at the valve, absolutely zero. So if we have, if it'll hold thin fluid, it'll hold compression. I mean, this is the old school, but it's a good visual. And if it's not leaking, if it won't leak mineral spirits or paint thinner, it ain't leaking air. So let's flip it around here and we'll just check the intake. Maybe it's the intake leaking. So it's well above the valve. There's absolutely zero leakage. Yep, zero leakage. So I have got to apologize to my kid because he did not make a mistake. So we're gonna pull the valves out and take a look see and see what's going on. Let's see here, let's make some room. Let me grab a rag. All right. I mean, I see a lot of carbon, but I don't really see no, I mean, it's black with carbon. I mean, you can you see the seat? And it didn't run really long, but I mean, Andrew ground the valve faces, but they, I mean, you can see, look at the seat, down on the seat. Look at you see the seat? So I see in the center of the exhaust seat, I see some checking. I don't know. We're gonna put just a touch of lapping compound and just see. I mean, it's not leaking But I just want to see the pattern so we know that we ain't got no goofy. I mean, that's still not the problem, but I just want to see the pattern of the, because this is just like, this is a daily driver deal. It's a runabout. It ain't no 5-angle top fuel dragster valve job. It's just a touch the seats up, touch the faces of the valve, and call it a day. So what in the world is, going on that's making it skip or blow out of the exhaust? I have no idea. But we're gonna look, see. Yep, so all the way around the valve, let's see here, all the way around on the outside edge, I mean, that's no issue there. Yeah, and you can see even where it was had a little shadow over here, you can see the line where it's sealing all the way, and it goes. Yeah, you can even see it. Look straight down right here. You can even see the line from the lapping compound. So the seat's concentric, the valve's round, it's not leaking. So I don't know what's going on, but there's not a problem with the valve job. I mean, anything's possible, but I mean, it could be a lifter was pumped up and the check valve it wouldn't let it leak enough to find zero lash and had the valve hung open. I can't guess about none of that. The only thing that I do know is Andrew didn't mess up the valve job. All right, so as you just seen, there's no problem. There's no problem with the valve job. We went ahead after, I didn't do it on camera because no other cylinder was in question, but I went ahead and pulled both heads completely apart, inspected every valve face, every valve seat. There is no problem. No problem exists. And so I send the video to the customer. And even though we got video proof, the customer is still arguing with me that the valve's leaking and he knows what he's talking about. And he wants them fixed. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to fix? I mean, the only thing that I can do is make the valve seal to the seat. That's it. Outside of that, we talking about fairy tales and unicorn farts, because there's nothing else I can do beyond making it seal. It seals. I showed you it seals on camera. I showed you that the valve and the seat has concentricity. The pattern's good. There is no issue. And I still will hang my hat on either a lifter was pumped up and it just didn't have time to bleed before they crunk it, and then one of them had a valve hanging over, obviously. And then the next problem is, in the email, the intake valve is leaking and blowing air through the intake. On the paperwork, because he sent me a invoice for this job and it had what the problem was, and then on his invoice it states that the exhaust valve is leaking. So in the email, the intake valve leaks, and on the paperwork, the exhaust valve leaks. I mean, which is it? I mean, it's which is it? So I asked how much lifter preload they had, and they couldn't answer that question because they don't know how to check it, and nor did they check it. So I don't think that's the problem either. But I'm just saying that, we got boxes that are not checked. So I went ahead and done the whole deal. And I decided that when it was all said and done, because the customer just continued to tell me that basically I was wrong and that there was something wrong with them heads. So what we done is we went ahead and paid their bill that they charged us an extremely high amount that was, I could have 3 sets of heads swapped for what we paid for 1 set of heads. So I went ahead and paid the bill, and I give them their money back for the valve job, and I fired them as a customer. And that is sometimes that's just what you got to do when you have people that just won't listen to reason, and or that the customer is smarter than you are. When the customer that has never done a valve job in their life starts telling me how to do a valve job, then that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Because I don't mind somebody that is qualified to school me on something I don't know, but if you've never done my job in your life, then how are you going to tell me how to do my job, or tell me I don't know how to do my job? That's a problem for me. So and then I mean, there's a way to handle issues. We have very few problems. I mean, we really do. But when we have a problem, we want to be proactive. We want to get to the root of the problem, figure out whose problem it is, get it corrected, and move forward. If it's our problem, we're going to take care of it. And that's one of the reasons that we have been in business since 1996, and we still have some customers that we had in 1996. So that don't happen, if you do crappy work and, treat people like trash. So, I just, at the end of the day, I try to, for me, this channel is about what it takes to really do this stuff that we do every day, and to try to educate the public on what it is we do and why we do it, because again, there's just so much misinformation out there, as we've seen in a lot of other instances. So I just thought this would be a good example of a real world scenario where it could have been a problem, but it wasn't a problem, and you and the customer got to see that there was no problem in real time. And because it didn't fit the narrative that they had already predetermined, then that couldn't be the answer. And that's when that's where the rubber meets the road. So anyway, another one. I hope I hope that's in some way educational and can help, and just another one of them. You just see the kind of crap we have to deal with sometimes, and it is what it is. So all right, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate you again.